All right. My head seems so large compared to yours.
Well, I know. I'm not a large person. It's silly. It's not even a perspective. I'm just that small.
Okay. What's up? We're back. I'm Max.
I'm Scott.
And we're your fucking Anime-Niacs. Welcome back.
Is this the longest pause we've ever had?
This is by far easily the longest streak of no Anime-Niacs. But we've been yanked. We've been pulled out of the muck. We were stuck in a rut. We were spiraling the drain. We had no hope, no sight for the future, and Predator Killer of Killers happened. And we decided that we must come back.
This isn't the first thing we've talked about. Like, maybe we should come back.
Yeah,
like,
no, there's been
the stars just kind of aligned.
Yeah, and this was it was low key, just kind of like out of left field. There was not a lot of pomp and circumstance when this was released. And
so it's easy to like dip our toes back into Anime-Niacs.
Yeah, for sure. And no, I had to get back together with Scott because this was just so much fun. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. Predator, Killer of Killers. Let's get some people here. Who's like what, directed by Trachtenberg?
Yeah, the same guy who directed Prey, which is cool. I thought he would just be like an executive producer, but like he was the director. Which, what else has he done besides Prey? I know he's done other stuff, but like, I don't know. I feel like he's better at directing animated. And I like Prey, but I feel like he's a better animation director than live action.
I mean, I liked Prey, and I liked this.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I feel like, but I feel like he does have room to grow on either front.
Yeah.
So you know, a good start, and he can do. You know, hey, let him go. You know, let the man cook.
He's got a foot in both camps.
Yeah.
Like, and whichever path you choose, I will follow you.
Yeah, I'm here for it because I've never like anything after the literally every other Predator movie after the first Predator, I don't really like.
It's like it's just levels of like,
right? Yeah, it's just a big bowl of meh.
Like Predator 2, I understand like everyone's nostalgic for it. It's fun. Again, if you just like really like turn off your brain.
Yeah, it's the campy, stupid like it's like the others, and it's like it's such a bad Predator movie that you love it.
Like Predators, if things hadn't been so dire, is a nothing movie. It's just like there hadn't been anything, and what there had been like pretty bad. So we're like, this isn't bad.
Yeah, but like even Predators, when I saw that movie, I was like, this is just Predator.
Yeah,
it's not. It's not anything that's like, and like even it's like they have all the same guns pretty much, you know, and
it's like a beat for beat, like except they're on an alien planet now.
Right? Yeah. So
some interesting ideas there, and I will get to that in a sec when we get to the ending of Killer of Killers. About there was some stuff. There was like a cut ending for Predators, like one of the very early ones that more ties into like what Killer of Killers is trying to do.
Okay.
Which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to that.
But like Predators was, I call it, the great rehashing.
Yeah.
It's
my introduction to Walton Goggins, another big plus.
Yeah, I know that is something good to take away from it. But like, no, Walton Goggins is dope. He's one of my favorite actors working right now. But yeah, like that's pretty much it. And Predators, Topher Grace in Predators.
Lawrence Fishburne was also in it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I remember he was a big part of the trailer, and then like
they
showed the trailer was that it?
They bait and switched you for sure. It's so yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Alien versus Predator is hot garbage. Every one of them was just hot garbage, and I cannot sign on for that. So
Alien versus Predator. Like, do that.
I mean, look, I've always been an advocate for animate it before you make it live action because you can do anything in animation. It doesn't matter, and there's no like. It's so much easier to suspend your disbelief with animation, and we'll actually kind of talk about that when we get into Predators. There are many conversations about like, well, it is just a movie, but yeah. Animation always gives you more leeway to do whatever you're trying to do, and it has to make less sense. And it's just better.
and you don't have the clashing like art styles. Like you have a giant CGI predator, a predator, that looks awful against all these like live action people. Like the art styles just clash.
Right.
But if it's all one animated style, like it can look.
It'll,
Like it
at
doesn't look
least
out of place
yeah,
when
there's
a
no
ninja predator shows up in feudal Japan.
Yeah, there's no uncanny valley,
Right.
like, oh, hey, like that's obviously not there. Yeah, so Prey came out and I was on board. I was like, this is a dope Predator movie, and I don't like prequels, but like it's not really a prequel
Right.
to Predator other than it happens before Predator, but
Right.
there's no ties to it at all. And then and so it's its own thing. I was super down. I loved it.
A smaller scale, hyper focused, very well paced. Just like get to the point.
Yes, and then but also like I really liked in Prey the it's like they talk about like sort of like the injustices and things like the terrible things that happened to like to these people and so like historically it still kind of works and you're kind of learning a lesson and it's also really good, which I really appreciate. So yeah, that was dope. I had a lot of fun, and then I did not know this was coming out. I really thought Predator Badlands was our next stop on the Predator train, and this was just like, oh hey, no, it's good, emergency stop. Like here we go, Predator, killer of killers. It opens with this quote from some great Predator, where it's like, hey, go out amongst the stars and be the killer of killers, like be the most baddest ass on the block. And I was like, okay, like I like that little bit of lore, but again, it's like not anything really too, like overbearing or too much.
And I don't care about Predator culture. Like I know they've like delved into it in like the comics and the books about like their society and stuff, and I honestly don't care. Like the Predator is there to serve a purpose.
Yeah.
And that's just to be like, the driving force for the plot of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure there's some cool things you could do, but like for the most part, which is a point that I want to get to, like in a Predator movie, I really don't care about anything else that is happening until the Predator shows up, which isn't the case in Predator 1 and this movie. I remember when I was first watching the Vikings one, I like for a second forgot it was a Predator thing because like I was kind of invested in the story.
The Viking story.
And then they showed like a cloaked Predator. I was like, oh, that's right. Something else is gonna like pop off.
No, I mean, yeah, Viking revenge. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right. You don't need a Predator to make this like this is for me. But then yeah, like we're gonna chuck a Predator in the middle of there. So yeah, like, you get 3 short stories, and then they all kind of get tied together at the end. So you get like 1.5 movies, sort of. But yeah, like so it starts with the Viking, and it's this shield maiden lady, and she's on a Viking quest for revenge to avenge her father who was murdered by some other Viking, and it is dope. It's dope. I love her fighting style. She's got 2 shields with like they've either been broken or she carved them out and put blades, so you get like a crescent moon kind of shield. But she holds it, and she's obviously using them as shields, but then uses them as weapons. And her fight, like Captain America, takes some notes, bro, because this one's got it going on for sure. Like that was super cool. I really enjoyed that. Like
and the name of the short is like the weapon that they use to defeat the Predator, more or less.
Yeah. So she was shield.
Yeah, which I think was cool.
Yeah, it was super dope. And like you're saying, like they're going along. They've captured one guy. They're interrogating him, and like this is all like you're just like, yes, okay, I'm here for it. Like
you have this whole flashback about her and her father. How her father died. That like I don't think they would have put in a like.
No, it came out of the Northman.
Yeah, like, or again, like I wouldn't. They would have done it in like a much more ham-fisted way. Where like I don't care about this lady. Like give me the Predator fight scene.
Right. But
I cared about these characters and their motivation.
For sure. Okay, yeah, super spoilers. We're not talking about anything.
There's not much to spoil in this movie. Like it is very much just like
it's pretty straightforward.
See people fight predators.
But no, what I thought was cool was she's got her son there, and he's a young Viking, raiding with his mom and trying to get revenge for his grandfather, and you see him kind of grow, and it's a short. Was it 30 minutes?
Yeah, because I think it's like 25-ish minutes
Yeah.
each.
And
25-30 minutes each, and then there's like a final half hour.
Right. And it's you see him like being afraid, and then like getting some bravery, like joining the fight, and then like he gets it. And I was surprised because I really thought it was going to be him.
Yeah. Well, they build it up. She's like, if I die, I need you to carry on. I'm like, okay, so she's gonna sacrifice herself,
right?
And he's gonna kill the predator. He's gonna rise to the occasion.
Yes.
He's not the seasoned warrior. He's the young kid who will think about it in a new way because he's not as focused on his experience.
Yeah, he's not as entrenched in his own methodology or whatever.
And that's why he'll be the one who gains the upper hand on the predator.
Yes.
He goes about it in an unorthodox way.
No.
This kid's like,
no. Building falls on him. He's done. I love that. I 100% love that. I thought that was a great twist. It added so much to it. It added a lot of depth to the main character, and yeah, the Viking one was super dope. I had no complaints. Actually, small complaint. This one. In the Viking one, the animation does seem to be a little bit choppy, like when they get going, like in the action sequences. I don't know what it is, because I'm watching it and there's no real reason why it seems that way. But I've talked to a few people and it does seem a little bit choppy, like not necessarily skipping frames, but like almost that sort of.
It could be that they had a lot more to animate. This had the most like independent things moving, like the samurai one. It's like basically like one or two guys on screen at any time. The plane, if there's not like some kind of explosion or something, it's really only like one or two planes moving. Everything else is pretty static,
right?
Like the background. So this could just be like they had to animate like all these different Vikings and things like fighting
they do like a long cut, like a hallway scene, where she's just kind of like traveling through freaking like 20 Vikings. But there's a lot of other fights going on at the same time, so that might have led to it. That's really like my only gripe, and it's not even that bad.
I just chalked it up to like there's a lot of chaos, so things are a little jittery, and it did. Yeah, I like noticed it, but it didn't bother me.
Right. Yeah, so that was that. The second story, my favorite story.
I think it's gonna be a lot of people's favorite.
Yeah, Predator versus Samurai Jack versus Samurai Jack's ninja brother. No, this one, feudal Japan. Let's go. Samurai versus ninja versus Predator, and Scott hit the nail on the head. He called it the Samurai Jack of Predators, because there's not a lot of dialogue in the whole thing. It's a lot of just like like wide shots and
stern looks.
Yes, yeah. The disappointment of your father and the dishonor upon your family. No, it's so good though. It's so good. So it's two brothers brought up by, we'll call them the Shogun. I have no clue because, like, again, they don't say anything.
Yeah.
But he makes the brothers fight, and one wins, the other one runs off, and 20 years later, the father's dying, and the outcast brother comes back to get some sort of revenge. Now, my main gripe with this one is, like, we don't know. There's no way to tell what his actual intent was upon returning to the samurai castle and taking on his brother.
He like scars him, but then puts his sword away.
Yeah,
that's all he was doing.
He was
like,
just trying to give him the
now we're even.
in their battle as children, he got a scar on his face from his brother, and then he ran off. And so he goes through a lot. The siege of the castle is great. It is super dope. It's a really cool ninja stuff scene. But what's also fun is, like, the Predator was there. He was going to attack the castle, but then sees old dude creeping up, and it's like, okay, hold up, like
let me hang
yeah,
back.
let's let him cook. Let's let him cook. Let's see what's going on. So like it's just funny to me that the Predator is just like, this guy is like, taking out guards, being super stealthy, super quiet, like, he's adapting to the situation, he's pulling out all the tricks, and the Predator is just like over here, just like with his popcorn, just like, this is great.
There's that scene where he's like climbing the wall, and the Predator's like right next to him, cloaked, just like watching him.
So I thought that was great. I was like, this Predator is just chilling. He's just hanging out. So yeah, it's a great scene where he, gets into the castle, confronts his brother, and
their fight scene is really cool. Again, this is like, you see the Predator, and it's like, oh wait, the Predator's coming. But then like what's actually happening, I'm also super invested in. Like his fight with his brother, and I love how his brother's like strapping on his armor as they're fighting.
Yeah,
it's a really cool sequence where he's like rolling around on the ground, like,
and like picking up shoulder pads, picking up
as his brother's throwing knives at him.
It's another small gripe. The brother throws a piece of armor, and so the ninja throws a piece of samurai armor at the samurai, which gets like kicked away or deflected. Yeah, but then it sticks into the freaking like a pillar. And I'm like, is this a bladed piece of like, and it didn't make any sense. But like, other than that, like, it is just a wonderful, awesome scene. And so then the brother takes a fall, and
I like how they set that up too, because his dad hits the sword into the beam, which weakens it, like 20 years ago, and then 20 years later, you have a little payoff.
Yeah, for sure.
There's so many. That's not the only instance. Like, there's so many little details that like have little payoffs.
Right.
Maybe they're not huge, but like if you're paying attention, there's cool little details throughout.
Yeah, you can always see where the protagonist will catch on to the Predator's gimmick. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, like I gotta watch out for this. And it's always just like, oh, like this little thing happened, but X, Y, or Z. Now I can use this to my advantage, and like it always carries forward.
You don't need like a 30-minute long sequence of like where Arnold falls and gets covered in mud, and then has a little run around in the forest before he realizes like, oh, he can't see me if I mask my body heat, like. Which I'm it's very to the point.
Well, they didn't have, ain't nobody got time for that, you know, like it's
three different protagonists to recognize 3 different times, how the Predator like operates.
And so this Predator was the least gimmicky, I want to say.
He was very like
just
he was very traditional.
Yeah, and
he had
like
the spear and like
he had the chain.
The chain, which was a new thing. I've never seen.
No,
They had like nets and stuff, but I've never seen a Predator with like a claw hook.
Yeah, like a grappling hook.
Hook shot.
Yeah, sort of thing. But that
was
a little
explosive.
Yeah, and he had some little, just random. But again, like none of those are really like, and he had the cloaking technology, obviously. But like none of his weapons were like. The cloaking technology was the most like technology that he was using, like. So I like this guy just because he was just pretty like straightforward as. Well, no, I guess the Viking Predator.
He had his like.
But he had that sonic.
Yeah.
Because he was missing.
He had to like recharge it.
Yeah, the freaking. I don't know why that was like that guy must have been a weird guy. Like I wonder if the other Predators are like, God,
here he comes with his. Fake hand.
Brad with his friggin' sonic knuckle. So but again, even like that's a bit of technology, even though it's a blunt thing that he was using.
Yeah.
But
and she learns how to like turn it to her advantage.
Right. But so Samurai versus Ninja.
And I love the callback to when they're fighting as kids and they both hit the leaf at the same time and they see the leaf land on the Predator, so they're like, all right, and they do the same thing. Hit the leaf.
It is super good. Like, so you think the ninja's won. He watches his brother fall into the darkness, and he's like, okay, like here I am now. And then the Predator's like, okay, this is the winner. This is the killer. I'm going in. And this dude, this poor guy, is like, oh crap, you know, like,
It just must be like the most traumatic, second
like,
most traumatic moment of his life.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on, you know, other than he was just in 7 fights, you know, which is enough.
Yeah.
But on top of that, we've got the trauma, the catharsis, the all this, whatever, right? Predator shows up. And then
like immediately.
and then he's like ducking and dodging and weaving and trying to get out of there. And it's a castle, you know, they got a whole bunch of castle guards. He is just like jumping behind castle guards, like basically just chucking these guys at the Predator. And it's hilarious. Like these poor guys have no idea what's going on. And he's like, oh, hey, did you see that back there? And then like they catch a freaking spear to the face.
Yeah. An invisible spear.
Yeah, no, it was so good. But then things play out. Turns out Samurai Brother isn't dead.
And they have to team up one last time.
And take down the Predator. And it's just a super cool. Love the action. And again, like no dialogue to speak of. Like there's like 3 speaking lines in that whole.
Yeah. You have a little voiceover at the beginning, and then the brothers talk to each other at the very end.
Yeah.
After they've defeated the Predator.
And then what? Oh, so they get the classic, you know, running at each other, sword strike, aura farming. So that was a lot of fun. And then we get the World War II episode, I'm gonna call it, but
which was my favorite.
And it's probably my least favorite. But like it's the hardest for me to suspend my disbelief on, because just the levels at which the technology, you know, because like if you're a Predator flying a Predator ship that's infinitely more maneuverable than.
It was like an Osprey, like the way it can like move its engines.
The engines rotate like 360 degrees, so like it can use that to it'll hover. It'll, you know, it's going one way. It's like hard on the brakes and coming right back at you. It's, you know, it's so. And even that alone, that aspect alone, even if like it was made out of paper, the sheer maneuverability of it versus these World War II airplanes gives him such an advantage that he's not in any danger, I feel, the whole time.
Well, he's ramming planes.
Yeah, he just rammed straight into one, like, oh, okay.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't care. Like, this metal that they have is like
not
is
what
like,
I got.
Like,
he's got the
paper versus what I got.
Yeah, he's got the adamantium, vibranium, alloy, friggin' super steel, whatever. Like, they don't stand a chance, and they didn't throw enough at the Predator plane for me to believe that they could have taken it down.
Yeah. So the other Predators, like, you know, even if somebody dies, they'll get like a lick in real quick, and you'll see it bleed, and it's like okay, like this, if you're at the very top of your game and you catch him slipping for a moment, like you might maybe have a chance to disable a Predator, you know, on the ground and either get away or maybe kill him, right? But like in this friggin' plane, in this thing, there's no way. There's no way. So that's what I didn't like. I do like the characters. I thought everything was very well written. It looks great. All the friggin' plane, all the flying stuff is dope. And this is the only one that I felt like didn't have like a story really that I was like invested in without the Predator. It kind of just gets right into like, and now we gotta fight the Predator.
Yeah,
like, that's kind of what's going on.
Yeah. You just get like a little bit of backstory for the guy, and it's not.
And you know he's the one who's gonna live too. Like the first one, it's a little ambiguous. The second one, it's like there's 2 brothers. You know one of them's gonna make it, but you're not quite sure which one.
No.
Yeah. You're like, okay, like which one? Because you only see him from the back when he's kneeling.
Mm-hmm.
When it goes into it, so you're not sure like which brother it is.
Right. Yeah. And yes, it's
this one you see his name on his dog tag before
right.
It goes into the short.
Okay. It's like and this one gives you the most into the tying in of the movie too. So I think
this is like all right, time for the plot.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of if you like airplane dogfights, if you're Top Gunning it, this one's for you.
Yeah, I really like this one a lot. There's a little bit of like craziness. Yeah, where like I said, when he's like flying through, like he goes like down to the city and he's like flying between buildings.
Yeah,
while
they're
he's,
doing.
like, sideways.
What was it? Pearl Harbor.
Yeah,
They stole from Pearl Harbor.
I thought it was gonna be the attack on Pearl Harbor where the Predator was gonna like come in.
Yeah, and see, like that would have been okay for me because again, like that would have been enough other things in the air. Like this is really only like 2 squadrons, and not even like a full squadron. It's like 7 planes each are
like
fighting each other.
77, and the Americans suffer like no losses.
No,
like they take care of business pretty easily, and then like, all right, time to go back to base, and then the Predator attacks.
Yeah, the Predator shows up,
picking them off,
and it's just like yeah, again, and if this was like just from the information you have given me. I'm not saying like, oh, well, obviously, like the turning radius of a, like I'm not saying that. I'm saying like this is what you've shown me. There's like that Predator has no problems. He's over here on cruise control because just like you can literally fly your like kamikaze, fly your plane into his plane, does nothing.
0 damage.
Does the cloaking doesn't work for a few minutes.
Yeah, the cloaking like fizzles for a little bit
after it takes that hit. That's as bad as it gets.
He hits the engine. He manages to get behind it because his engine's off, so he goes cold, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But again, it's not how he defeats the Predator because like he hits an engine and like it's still at full. He's still flying and doing just fine even with an engine down. Like it doesn't really do anything.
No.
He has to like fly it through the warships and then
concoct
his plan to like blow up his own plane.
Right. And I thought that was cool. He's like, okay, I need to take him into a larger battle where he's just gonna catch strays.
Yeah, because he's so big.
And like because there's no one even actually focusing on him, but he'll catch enough strays that will do some damage. That we're talking about warships, so like that's got a lot more punch to knock down something like that. I'm totally fine with that. But like
and flak is like an area of effect. Like
so it's that makes a lot more sense.
They don't need a direct hit to hit it.
right, and to do
if it's
something
big enough, it's catching something. Honestly.
And so so like I like that, but it's just to be like the 1v7 where the Predator ends up kind of like on his back foot a little bit. I was like, no. no. But it's still again like beautiful. I love the animation. I love the characters. And like the only problem I had was like they just didn't throw enough at the Predator to make this to make this make sense.
Yeah.
But they're still very, very good. I don't want to like all the problems I have are not real problems. Yeah.
When you're watching it for the first time, you're still very much engaged and very much like, what's gonna happen next?
Yeah, for sure. And you're having fun the whole time.
Yeah.
All right, so then he and okay, last little nitpick. He's flying off, right? He does his little parachute trick, and decides he's gonna jump into the ocean.
That's what I thought the parachute was for, because he throws it to him, and I was like, oh, he's gonna do this and then parachute
and live. Makes sense. That would have made sense. No, we use the parachute to slow the plane into the Predator.
But now he's just under it, so that when the thing swings around.
Oh yeah. No, because the Predator dodged.
Yeah, but again.
But he got caught from the chain. Yeah. And
again, yes, because it's slowing down the front end of the projectile, because the back swings towards it.
Yeah. Friggin'.
You could have had the same thing where like it still like went back and hit the Predator, but because it was so full of fuel and because his cockpit was exposed, it did extra damage.
Yeah.
I feel like you still could have had the same effect and saved the parachute to get into the ocean.
Yes, but so he just jumps. He just jumps. They're flying. Okay, so they're doing at least 100 miles an hour, right?
Planes are fast.
Planes are super fast.
Even small.
Yes. All right, so we'll call it 100 miles an hour. and he's we're gonna say 20 feet above the surface of the water.
It feels
Higher than that. Okay, but again, I'm gonna lowball this just because the physics of this. No, okay. Traveling 100 miles an hour, drop 20 feet and hit the surface of the water. You're dead.
He like kind of skips along.
You're dead. All your bones are shattered. You cannot hit water. Like people think that, oh, water is soft. It's not. Water acts like concrete at that point.
So like if you've ever seen somebody dive, and you see there's like a little spigot of water at the very bottom. What's that for? It's breaking the surface tension so that you can. And when people dive, like high dive, they have to break the surface tension before they go into the water. Otherwise,
it's
like,
concrete.
The surface tension is like a solid surface.
Yeah. Yes. And it's worse than concrete because after you hit it, then you sink into it. So, yeah, that's and okay, like that's not a small nitpick to me. I'm like, come on, guys, you can do better than this. that is because I'm not smart. Is the other thing. If my dumb ass can't make this work, then you've done wrong. That's like and again, it's a small thing because everything else is so good. But I was just like, you guys could have done and captured the essence of this, but done it so much better. And so yeah, that's why this is my least favorite. But like, it's my least favorite of a lot of good things, And I'm not saying it's even bad. It's just like with all the attention to detail that you played to everything else, like I just didn't get why like all these things were happening. But I digress. Yeah. So this leads into
the connective tissue.
Yes,
of the whole movie,
the full story. And so our pilot friend wakes up, and you see the ninja who lived and the Viking who lived, and they're all just on a transport.
And it shows that they've been frozen too.
Yes,
because they thaw them out. So you're like,
oh yeah, and because they do make a point of saying
2,000 years.
Yeah, because like the Viking one's in like 800.
Yeah.
And then the feudal Japan one's like 1600.
Something like that.
And then the
1940.
1940 is the World War one. So they're all separated by time, like vast amounts of time. But
and you could have done like almost like a interstellar thing where it's like they fly in, grab them, and fly out. And there's like, the space-time dilation, like, just when they fly in and when they fly out, like so much time has passed.
Right.
But I understand, like, for the layman, like, oh, they just have been frozen for however much time. And
I'm totally.
And now they're all in the same place.
Right.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Sure. I will allow it.
That's what I thought was happening, because you didn't see anybody thaw, you just saw them. With the collars, the collars keep them young. Like I was like, what's going on?
Yeah,
but then they show, they thought,
and without dialogue again, which I think is just super cool because I love it when you count on me being able to keep up. Like I don't like my hand being held with a lot of storytelling, and because that just ends up wasting time and making things monotonous. And they do a real good job of like, hey, like we've shown you all the things, and if you miss something, go back and watch it again. Like it's in there.
Yeah, that's what Lawrence Fishburne in Predators literally is like an exposition device. After you already kind of know what's going on, he's just there to like extra explain the plot, and then he dies,
right.
And then like you're back to where you started. Like he was an unnecessary part of it.
Wholly unnecessary. I love Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, I'm not sad that he got work. I'm just like Predators sucked. Yeah, so they've been frozen. They're, again, and that's kind of weird too. Like, the only thing that gets me is like, I don't know why.
Are they the only three? Oh, we'll come back to that. But like, yeah, like, do they have a bunch of others and they just happen to be like the lucky three? Like, they just randomly were like, all right, these three, and they're gonna fight.
But I don't know,
because they could have a bunch more.
Yeah, and at the end we see like they do have more, but like I don't know why, because over the time, like you kept the Viking for the longest time to wait until now. Why? you know, and you know, with the clip, the little Easter egg that they give us at the end, you know that there were 3 before the World War II guy. There was 3.
Right.
So it just, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Like, or I'm still have the question in my mind of why these 3 and you know what's
maybe, I mean, it could just be like a little lottery thing.
yeah,
Like, right,
could be completely arbitrary.
Yeah, these 3.
So yeah, that's fine.
We'll come back. I have a couple points on that one, but we'll finish up.
Yeah. So then they come to the Predator Gladiator Arena. Head Predator. Okay, and I do like the design of
like the
alien. I thought they were alien tails.
Were they all? Well,
like his dreads.
He has like, yeah, but he has like the big spines.
Yeah.
Coming out of his back.
Yeah, like great Predator design.
Yeah.
On this guy.
He is
King Predator.
decked out. Like, yeah, these are all his trophies.
Yeah.
And he is just decked out with them.
It's dope. So yeah, he's like, hey, guess what? You guys fight each other, and the winner gets the honor of fighting me. And so, you know, it's cool to there's this, you know, the language barrier, the time and language barrier between the 3 characters is immense. The pilot does know a little bit of Japanese because he's a World War II pilot,
which is cool.
Yeah,
I like that little
that made sense. Yeah, and
yeah, like, oh yeah, we had to learn like how to say like hello in basic.
And so you know, it's a few phrases, and so he's like trying to talk to the ninja, and the ninja's like, guy, he's a little touched. The guy's like, oh wow, and he's like, I don't suffer fools, you know, like.
Which is funny. The ninja was like the most like rational of all 3 of them, even though the pilot's kind of like the main character, I would say.
Yeah. Well, I would say like, yeah, the ninja is just the most
like
level-headed, the most reasonable, because the pilot is a dreamer.
Yeah, and he's just like
he's frantic and doing, you know, and he's like a frenetic energy, and an agent. I think that pilot is an agent of chaos. You know?
And the Vikings is like, whatever gets me to Valhalla.
Like let's just kill everything. We'll worry about the details later.
Like, I'll fight, and I kind of hope I die.
Right? You know, best case scenario, I'm up with the kid.
Yeah.
We're saying what's up to Thor and what's not, and having a great time. So the ninja is the most pragmatic, the most level-headed, rational out of all of them. And he's like, I cannot deal with this guy. So it's they start fighting. They each get their weapon that they defeated the Predator with, which
not really
though. So yeah, it's a little weird because and this also lets me think that, hey, you know what? Predators are perfect. Like they don't understand all the like small intricacies of our society, different cultures in our society, and so the pilot gets kind of screwed in this fight because they don't give him a plane; they give him a flintlock pistol.
So this is my problem. Is that like it's the same flintlock that was in Predator 2 and was also in Prey, and it's like, so you give the samurai his sword and you give the Viking her axe, but you can't give him
she had an axe.
But you can't give him a in World War II was like an M14 or something like that.
Or even like, you know, the 45, the 9/11.
1911. Yeah. He couldn't get like a pistol or
anything. And then they just have this like charcuterie set of a flintlock pistol. It's like, here's your weapon, here's your pellets, and here's your gunpowder, and it's all just neatly arranged and in some ceremonial bowls. And I was like, okay. and the guy's like, I don't even know what, like, he's trying to figure out how to load it, and then someone swings an axe at his head. So like he does get screwed over, and he does not get the weapon that, you know, he should. But of course,
even anything on his time period.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, he's totally screwed. He's kind of just running around trying not to die, and you know, the ninja doesn't want to fight. You know, because again, he's like, why would we just fight each other just to go fight this guy? Like, I'm not trying to be someone's entertainment. And it's a great scene too, where like they're battling, they're trying to come together. Like it's a very gladiator scene. Like they're throwing different like monsters at them. They're like the stage moves around.
There's the one thing they set up where the collars will explode if you don't do what they say, so like they're kind of forced to fight.
But like
even then the ninja's like, I'm not gonna fight still. Like I'm not going out on their terms.
Right? Yeah, it's like and that I mean, of course it'd be the ninjas like, hey, well, I'll just kill myself. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. No shame to my family. But yeah, it's it's a lose-lose situation, and like, why would you then be like, okay, I'm gonna murder this person that I've never met just because it says I can live for the time it takes me to murder this person? Like, that doesn't make much sense. So yeah, like that was it was a cool scene where they all do come around, and they throw some shots at the predators and they get away. Well, two of them, the ninja and the pilot. The pilot steals the flagship, the Predator flagship.
Which also, like, going back, like, he's like, I think I could fly it. It's like, how?
Now,
like, I know you flew against one, but you don't know anything about how, like, it operates.
No, you can't read. You're an illiterate person trying to, like, get an illiterate person and tell them to fly a 747.
Even a 172.
Whatever. Like, they can't read. They don't understand any of the things that tell you what to do or how to do it.
In what order?
In what order? None of it. So yeah, this is the other huge stretch with this pilot character, where I was just like, I do like that, like there are controls that were similar enough to controls he would be used to, and he's seen how they maneuver in action.
Yeah.
So like a good pilot could use those things and pilot a thing. But now you've piloted the thing. They're chasing you.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You can't read. That's where I was just like, I don't know about this. The Viking ends up sacrificing herself to save the other two, let them escape.
Yeah.
And
the ninja loses his arm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's
so he's gonna be super sick in the next one.
But again, like, what do you mean the next one? Like there's 30 Predator planes versus a guy who can't read. Like, it's yeah. There's just no hope at all. Like I don't understand. Like I think there could have been a better ending. Like maybe if they would have done like a Lawrence Fishburne sort of thing where they hole up in a place where like, okay, like the Predators just can't. They
find like another group of like, we escape too. Like there's only a few of us.
Right.
But, like every now and then one gets away. Like
yeah.
And then we've been here for 30 years.
Something, along those lines, or if they would have sent the plane and jumped off of it, because like this guy's indestructible apparently, so he can jump out of that thing while it's moving and he's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
That would have been a little better to me, but again, it's a small thing because I enjoyed it so much.
It's very clearly a hook for a sequel.
Like, yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, all right, let's go.
But I mean, like, I would love it if they made like a 3-minute sequel where it's just the other Predators shooting the plane down and just exploding it and laying complete waste to it, and then like everyone's burnt up and dead and stuff. Like they show the burnt bones at the end and like roll credits, no dialogue. Like it's
Killers 2. It's 30 seconds long.
They can't even make a trailer for it because like that's literally the length of the thing. I would be so down for that. But what were your extra little?
Okay, so one thing that I thought was so predators, right? So they capture just people. It's not people who have killed predators. It's just people, and then they put them against a predator, which I thought was interesting because this makes it seem like the predators only capture people who have killed a predator, which was like, is that what they've been doing? Because you don't have Dutch and you don't have Danny Glover.
No.
So like, where are they? Because like when Danny Glover kills a predator, they're like, all right, cool, good job, dude. here's the same flintlock again that we can't seem to get rid of.
Yeah.
And we're gonna peace out. That's about it. But I know I think there was like I don't know if they ever filmed any of it, but there was original ending for Predators where Dutch was at the end, and he was like there, and he's like, hey, like I'm here too. Like,
oh yeah, Dutch is here too.
Yeah. But I don't think he was captured. I think he was like hanging out, like doing something.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like, do they capture everybody who killed a predator? Do they capture some people and pit them against predators if it's a slow season? Like, I don't know, like what the.
Well, I mean, like I would say, like the predators, they know about Earth, right? They're like, we can come here, and it's a pretty good time every time. Like those guys are. They're tricky, right? You know, it's like they'll give you a run.
The most dangerous game.
Yeah, they'll give you a run. So,
well, also, you know, like you were saying with the technological like difference, like killing a human can be hard, but if you kill a predator, they have no problem just like, okay, we got you now, like picking them up, like that's not an issue.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, like like oh, did you have trouble with one predator?
Yeah.
Here's 7.
Now you're abducted.
Yeah. And like, you know, they never show any of them getting picked up, you know, like or how
they show the pilot kind of get like beamed up a little bit, but
so,
not really like.
But then, you know, so it's like, is it just a, you know, blow darted and like they had you know, like this, and then wake up and they're on the predator ship.
Yeah.
And you know, no muss, no fuss, and it was that easy for them to get you and get out. But like, as far as like the predators, like here's a bunch of killers. Let's see. I think it's it may be a different predator king.
It could be.
You know,
they're not all one cohesive civilization.
Right.
Probably
different factions and whatnot. And so, you know, maybe one likes to. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'll snatch up like 7 people, make sure they're killers.
Yeah.
Snatch him up, get Topher Brace. I saw him kill somebody. Oh my god, the most deadly, Topher. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing. But it's, you know, snatch up some killers. We'll put them, you know, in a bad situation, see if they work together, see what happens, try to kill them. Sure. And then this one is, okay, I want the elite killers. Like, you have to at least be able to kill a predator before you come talk to me. So, I mean, like, that, I don't have too much of a problem with, you know, again, because I just say, I'm assuming that in predator society, there's a hierarchy and there's a lot of different things going on.
Yeah.
But,
whatever gets the job done.
Yeah.
Whatever gets me to kill somebody this weekend.
And then also, you know, with this one, the introduction of this one, you know that time isn't an issue.
Right.
So that's another thing too. So they're very long lived. They're like, in this one, they play with time a lot. You know, like you're saying, like an Interstellar, it's a lot of different times going. So
yeah, you don't really know like what their lifespan is like how long they live, like. It could just be like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Like, I'm just inheriting these 3 captured predator killers. Like,
oh, right. Yeah, it's like, oh man,
time to call them up.
My great grandfather said he was gonna send some interesting prey. So yeah, like that's all kind of, they're kind of fast and loose with that. Like, I don't feel like they're trying to explain it too much. They're just like kind of, this just kind of happened.
Which, like I said, I don't care about their culture. Like, they definitely are just like a means to an end.
Yeah.
In terms of like kind of an action movie. But at the same time, if you're gonna then like try to like, you know, oh, here's their home planet or here's this, like I do have some questions. But at the end of the day, I guess I don't actually care.
Yeah. So like that's what I'm interested in Badlands to see like is there a predator that you're rooting for, like to not just kill humans.
He's gonna be like a good guy, which I know is a thing that's happened before. You've had predators, you know, be like allies to humans in, you know, books and games and stuff like that. So
yeah, we'll see how it goes. But as far as this goes, I am down. I am 100% down. What was our rating system?
I don't know. Were you out of 5 or something like that?
We did that in 3 for a long time because we're
3 geeks. In my short, I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
So Purdue's still doing 5.
Yeah, we'll go 5s, and I got to give it a 4 out of 5 also. Yeah, again, I don't know that there's not anything that I really want to give a 5 out of 5 to, like the perfect movie, the perfect whatever.
Yeah.
Because and this one does have
problem with like scaling it.
Yeah. But this one is dope, and I should say, like, just on an entertainment level, like as much as I was entertained, this is definitely a 4 out of 5, maybe a 4 and some change out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like a few little nitpicks kind of brought me out of it, and just a couple like
that's just
storytelling
part of, like, reviewing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, but again, like I'm just in my watching the thing, how involved, like I'm on the edge of my seat the whole time, right up until old pilot jumps out of his plane, and I'm just like, oh, come on, like if you had that moment, you can't get a 5, like
that's a rule of cool.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, like, make something like, we have to make it 100% realistic and 100% entertaining. Like, they conflict.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, it's a struggle, and the struggle is real. But yeah, no, this is so much fun. It is so good. And for some people, this might be the first Predator thing that they've ever seen, and I am just interested to meet that person.
Yeah.
Like,
when you're not like. Because I feel like it's tough to be like, like you have to. The first is the best. Like
the first one is the best
because it is. But again, we grew up on the first one.
Well, but like the first one it does the thing where at first you think it's this war soldier movie, and then it just takes this hard right turn in the jungle, and you don't know what is going on. And Predator, to its credit, has been doing this well a lot, where it's like that you don't know much about what the Predator is, or what's what its motivations are, or why.
That's kind of why I don't like. I kind of like that.
Yeah. Oh,
I
for
like
sure.
when it just drops in the middle of something.
Yeah, and it's a great monster, but like once the cat is out of the bag, so for a Predators or Predator 2 and all this stuff, like it does not have the same punch.
Yeah.
As the first time you're like, I have no clue what this thing is, but it's awesome.
That's why I was surprised. I was like getting invested in the story.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's right. This is
and they managed to do the thing where where it's like you didn't even want to care, but they got you.
Right.
And definitely with the Viking one, there was just a lot of heart in that. And it's where you're like, you're like, I was just kind of here for stuff trying to kill each other, and now you made me care about this character.
Right.
So great job. 4 out of 5, easy. I had so much fun, and I keep on expecting to be disappointed because the cat is out of the bag.
Right.
But hey, like they're still doing stuff, and they're surprising me, and I'm here for it. I'm 100% here for it. I can't wait to see Badlands. I think it's gonna be dope.
I would love more shorts without. I was thinking the whole time I was watching this, like having to connect them all at the end kind of hamstrings them a little bit. Like you could easily do this without having to link them all together and just do shorts.
Yeah.
Without it being again like, well, they capture every single person who's killed a predator, and now we have to show it at the end and blah blah blah. Like if you just do shorts again, like individual little predator movies, but like hyper focused, distill it down to the raw essence.
Yeah.
And just go right along. Like I'd be down for that, especially if it means we get more of this on a faster basis. Like,
yeah. I'm here for it too. I'm here for it too. It is just a lot of fun. It is a roller coaster ride, and just like that, that you don't know what's going on helps. It only helps. So check out Predator: Killer of Killers. It is fun. It's so much fun, and brutal, and totally brutal. So I think that's gonna do it. I'm Max.
I'm Scott,
and we're your Anime-Niacs. Make sure to watch more animated things.
Yeah, and like whether we'll be here or not doesn't matter.
we're here with you in spirit.
Yeah, we're not gonna stop watching cartoons even if we stop casting.
Right. Yeah, and Oh no, I was gonna make it. No, we're not doing that. All right.